Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the next episode of the BRIO in the Box podcast. What's new? What's up?
Well, it's supposed to be getting close to summer, but it is not, and it's freaking annoying.
Yeah.
I officially programmed our first running workout, and then the day that we're supposed to be running, I think they're calling for 20 to 30 centimeters of snow. So
it's your fault is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah. My bad. It's my fault and all the people that put their summer tires on.
People got your patio furniture out, summer tires on, ready to run. It's all of our faults. So.
This is a silly place. Like, we had a beautiful day the other day. It was like 20 something degrees and sunny and warm. And then you look at the forecast and it's, oh yeah, snow.
And blizzard.
What's going on? So yeah, it's supposed to be like the open is over. Mm-hmm. The quarterfinals are over. It's supposed to be the time where, you know, we get to sit back and watch the people do the next stage of the games. And so we're getting into game season, which is usually for us the start of running season. Mm-hmm. So yeah, things kind of change up a little bit as far as programming goes. There's a little bit less structure through this summer because everybody's all over the map and traveling and doing fun stuff and using their fitness, hopefully, to go do cool things. So we just try to do some classic CrossFit stuff and lots more running and, you know, get the rust off the wheels.
Yeah. And, you know, I've been thinking lots about the parallels between playing sports, playing on a team. There's lots of analogies you could use with CrossFit, but also there's seasons, and many sports have an in-season and off-season and maybe periods where you don't play the sport at all. Some train year-round. CrossFit has a seasonality to it, which is part of the variety, right? We don't train the same year-round, even though we're always doing CrossFit, if that makes sense. And a lot of it here is dictated by the weather. So we have a long period where we don't run outside. Some of y'all are still running, but the rest of us are not running. And just in general, we do kind of a heavy strength cycle through the fall. We have kind of open prep time, January, February. Now we have into running season, summertime. We really try to emphasize getting outside, and we do ruck a week and using all those fitness that you built to go live life and have fun. And that's just, it allows us to ease off the heavy things and lean into running, and then lay off the running and lean into that. There's this balance to things, this, you know, yin and yang, and the summer, winter contrast throughout the year. And that's what keeps it interesting. That's what keeps it moving forward in terms of developing your fitness. So yeah, I think it's good. I mean, you guys know me, I'm no runner, but there is a part of me that, like, as soon as I can't, I'm like, oh, I just wish I could go for a run. Like when I was super pregnant, I was like, I just wish I could run. As soon as you can't, then
I'm going to go for a waddle right now.
Yeah. Even like the other day, I was just so grumpy. I was like, I just want to go for a walk. I just want to go for a walk, like not slipping and sliding and getting all muddy. It's like, I just want to enjoy being outside. So
I'm not a runner either, but running's a funny thing because I wish I was better at running. And we have a treadmill in our garage. And every winter, I'm like, well, okay, this year I'm going to actually use the treadmill and stuff. And I use it for walking sometimes, but I never actually run. And same thing this year. So now I'm going into running season feeling absolutely shitty. We did a shuttle run workout the other day, and those 25-foot sections felt like 400-meter runs. I was like, oh my God, I'm moving like a old man right now.
Clippity clopping, Clydesdale.
Well, you said about different seasons having different focuses, and I think it's the cool thing about CrossFit is that you can specialize for a little while in an area, but you still do the other stuff, right? The big difference between a CrossFitter and a regular person is somebody might do a lifting cycle and all they do is lift. And then they do whatever cycle, they do running or whatever, and all they do is that. And the nice thing about CrossFit is you can still do everything. You just do, you know, maybe 40% regular stuff and 60% heavier stuff. And then leading up to the open, it's more like 70% conditioning stuff and 30% lifting stuff and whatever. You can still structure the time of year based on what you're hoping to get better at. So it's not that we don't lift through the summer. We still lift heavy. It's just less than in the fall because we get to do a little bit more running.
Not as much of a focus.
Yeah.
So since we did our last episode, we had the open, we had quarterfinals. I will say like 10 out of 10 on the open this year. We had a great time, tons of buy-in and engagement from the whole team, which is like what makes it fun. You know, we had some costume nights and people show up in their crazy outfits, and it's good because Team BRIO makes it great. And I had a great time. I hope other people had a great time.
I'm always thoroughly impressed with the level of effort that people are willing to put into their silly costumes.
I love it. I love it so much.
I got a shout out to Corey for his like pink fluorescent flamingo things he showed up with on neon night. It was just awesome. And I was like, I want to own one of those. That thing looks amazing.
Yeah. He was the only one that brought props. When I said neon night, he was like on it. I have neon lights with him. And the other nights too. He had the crazy wig on the rock week. It was awesome. And that's, yes, we're testing fitness. Yes, we're working hard. Yes, we take it seriously, but also deeply unserious, because what is the point of all this? It's to make life better. It's to have fit friends. It's to do fun things. It's to have social outings that don't involve drinking and eating shitty food. That's like what it all is. And yes, it's around being fit and testing ourselves, but like it's not taking it so seriously that we can't have a little fun.
And I think that's the interesting differential between somebody who's taking it super hardcore serious and they just get so emotional about it is if you're willing to put on a silly costume and still try really hard, you're still like fun and you're enjoyable to be around. And it's kind of like golf. If you go to a golf course with somebody and they're swearing and they're throwing their club around, they're taking it so seriously and they're just a miserable person to be around, right? Nobody wants to golf with that guy.
Yeah.
But if you're wearing a ridiculous golf outfit like some people wear, you get an instant out. Like you're just like, this guy seems like he's a crazy dude. And I think it just sort of takes the edge off of all of it.
Mm-hmm. I will say, okay, that reminds me. I read, dabble in, don't post very often, the CrossFit subreddit. And there was, the topic was warm-up games. People have strong opinions about the warm-up games, and there were people in there that being like, I came to train, I don't want to play any stupid games, and I would quit a gym if they ever made me play a warm-up game. And I was like, okay, well, guess what? You're not going to fit in with us then, because I was like, but it made me think on that for a while. I was like, why did I find that so repellent that the person took it that seriously? And I was like, oh, well, it's because what we are, and then the culture we're creating and the people that will be on this boat with us is people that do fitness to have fun. Like we are the people that play rec hockey and play pickleball and go hiking and go paddleboarding and, join teams and play ultimate frisbee and use our fitness to have fun. And so if you're not willing to have any fun in the course of doing your fitness, like you're just probably not going to be a good fit here. And not to say that you're wrong, but that's just like clearly not the culture of what we're about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't like when people take things too seriously. It just puts too much pressure on it. I just want to be able to enjoy the thing.
Yeah, and that's a purely preference thing.
Yeah.
Right? Some people prefer that. That's not what we're about. And don't have to be everything to everybody. So warm-up games will continue.
Yeah, we're definitely the type of place that we always like to tinker and try things. And this year we tried to just like really emphasize the open and make it fun. And we had way more buy-in. And I think a lot more people are excited to do it next year as well. So hats off to you for the stickers, because it's hilarious how crazy people are going for the stickers.
You guys, we're absolutely spinning each other up here. The more you like it, the more I do it, and the more I love it, and then the more other people love it. It's getting out of hand, and it's awesome. Yeah. I'm all in on the sticker thing. I love that that's one aspect of owning a CrossFit affiliate, which if you listed the job description, it would be 3 feet long of all the things you get to do. But one of them is arts and crafts, basically. I love the opportunity to be creative and tinker on my graphic design software and come up with something awesome and be like, oh, this one's good. When I finally get the idea, and it makes me happy, and then it makes me extra happy when other people appreciate it too. So. And
it's just hilarious when grown adults are like obsessed with stickers and earning stickers. Hilarious story from the other day. Mark and Jenny, who have been with us forever, I think Jenny's been CrossFitting for 14 years or something. And she goes, hey, is there going to be a sticker for Murph? And I was like, yeah, I think so. She's like, fuck. And Mark just kind of laughs. And I'm like, why? What's going on? And Mark's like, she's never done Murph. For 14 years, she's been avoiding doing Murph because she doesn't want to do that workout, but she's loving the stickers. And now she knows she has to do Murph to get the sticker. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe how crazy people are for these stickers. That's amazing.
Me and the sticker websites, I'm a top client right now.
Yeah, you've got like platinum
I should
membership,
have platinum
something.
Service, whatever. To the point that now the algorithm has picked up on it and is like Instagram is advertising like commercial sticker printing machines to me now. Yeah. Do you need to own this $8,000 thing that can make stickers for you whenever you want? And I'm like, almost Instagram. You almost got me, but I have to.
Our kids aren't going to get to go to college, but they'll have a lot of sweet stickers.
So anyway, I'm loving that that's going well. And you're right. We're always on an experiment with something. And let me tell you, I've tried 8 million things that didn't work and people weren't into. And we've planned entire events that literally 0 people signed up for. And so I've been on a roller coaster of plenty of fails. So it's nice to have one that's actually people are into it and it's working and it's changing behavior. That's the ultimate goal.
In a positive way.
In the right way, yes. Yeah. Obviously, in the way that we're trying to.
Yeah, we had our biggest month of committed clubs.
In March.
March was crazy.
Bigger than January too, which is typically the January New Year, New Me kind of crowd, and not only new members. Although January is actually not when we take in the most new members. It's September.
September, yeah.
But it's when people are like done with Christmas holidays and New Year, New Me, and ready to get back to it and going to start the habit. And so just attendance is usually up in January, but it was up even more in March.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well done, team.
Good for you guys for showing up. One of the other things we've been experimenting with lately is not programming the week ahead.
Posting.
I misspoke. We program the week ahead, but we're not posting it up for everybody to see, which we've been doing for years. And again, this is just something that we like to try experiments and see. And we wanted to do a little bit of a throwback to the OG days of CrossFit, where you would be refreshing your phone all night long, waiting for that post to come up to see what you were supposed to be doing tomorrow. And there's some level of excitement and fear and anxiety that people were just like obsessed with. So we were like, okay, let's give this a shot.
Yeah. So yeah, we had talked about it on the last one in the context of what people like is not my top priority.
Yeah.
It's what influences behavior in the right direction. And so like, why do people hire us essentially? Why would you pay to come to CrossFit BRIO? Like, you could follow CrossFit.com. They give the workouts away for free. You could put a couple $1,000s worth of equipment in your garage and you could do CrossFit on your own. I guarantee you it wouldn't work as well if you do it in an affiliate. And why? What's the difference? Well, many of us, the kind of standard meme is, I need an adult. Like, you need an adult.
Yeah.
There needs to be an adult in the room. And it was our friend Matt Spencer, owner of CrossFit Aurelia, newly minted level 4, congrats Matt, who said one time, and it stuck with me, he's like, every time I go to a class at his own affiliate, he's talking about, he's like, I do something I wouldn't have done if I trained on my own.
Right.
And so you're like, if you encapsulate that whole thing is like why you pay membership to BRIO, it's so you will do things that you wouldn't have done on your own. And so whether or not you like them, I don't care so much.
Yeah.
But I care that you do them. That's what's important to me. And so I was noticing a strong problem popping up of cherry picking. And cherry picking is both sides of the coin of avoiding the workouts that you don't like the look of and prioritizing the workouts that you do like the look of. So I was like, okay, we need to shake it up. We need to get that little mind rat out of there and mix it up. So we went to daily blog posts every night between 7 and 8 p.m. Old school, like you said. Like CrossFit.com still does that. Post it every evening for what's the workout for the next day. Classic stuff. And the things I was looking at was like, how much are people engaging with reading the blog posts? Way up, like 800% increase, because it's every day. So instead of just looking at it once a week, we're in your mind every day. And you're like, hey, check in the phone. It gives me the opportunity to like maybe sprinkle in a recipe or a picture about somebody or feature someone from the community or like what's coming up. Like, it just gives us the opportunity to be front of mind, which is good. Your fitness habit should be front of mind as much as possible. And then looking at things like attendance and seeing things like committed club, like the number of people that are making it in consistently up like double, not quite double, but up 60 to 70% year over year. Obviously, I can't compare February to January. Like you have to compare February this year to February last year.
Yeah.
So the things I was looking at were all positive in that direction. And people registering with the complaints department, and I'm like totally open to feedback and very open person. People can talk to me lots. Not a single person made a coherent argument that was anything other than I would like to cherry pick the workouts. People were like, oh, but I just really, sometimes you'll see a workout and it looks so fun. And then you really try to make sure that I get here on Thursday so I can do that workout. I'm like, yeah, that's problematic. That's the exact mindset. It's called cherry picking that we're trying to get rid of, is you're prioritizing doing the things that you like instead of doing the things that you should.
Yeah.
And that's I was saying to those people, I'm like, you just plan your week, you show up whatever days you can, and it does not matter what the workout is.
Yeah.
And you just show up ready to train.
Yeah. And there's going to be people out there that do, no matter what we do, right? They are going to show up and only do the ones they want. And I avoid thrusters, I'll be totally honest. So we all have our things that we want to do and don't want to do. And we're all adults here, right? You can choose whether you want to do that or not. But just remember that when planning our business, we're not planning for those people that are making those choices. We're planning for what's the optimal way of running this business so that the people that are in are going to get the most benefit of it. And there's no way to accommodate the people that, pick and choose and only do half the thing or don't eat well or, continue to drink alcohol every day. It's just like, those are the people that, yeah, cool. Do what you want to do. You're grown up. You can make those decisions, but we're not going to make our business decisions based on your decisions. We're going to do what we know is optimal for health and longevity and building fitness over time.
You know what? That makes me think of a conversation I had with a participant at a seminar recently. And we were talking about programming. It's hugely problematic in the world of CrossFit, especially with these third-party generic programs. Too much stuff.
Yeah.
Strength and Metcon, terrible programming. And, it's too much volume. It's too much stuff. There's no opportunity for learning things, for teaching, for coaching. It's just junk volume. And they were like, well, but if I only program one workout a day, what about the people that only train 2 days a week? They only can come in Tuesday, Thursday. I was like, okay, well, you can have a program that's appropriate for someone to do it 2 days a week, in which case it's going to be a crazy amount of volume and you can't do it 5 days a week. Or you can have programming that's intended for people that come 5 days a week, in which case if you come half that much, you'll get half the results. Pick one.
Yeah.
Who's your programming for? It can't be for everybody. And so our programming is for the people that are bought in, the home of the committed, the 85% of our members that train full time. Like that's what the programming is for, people that come 4 to 5 days a week. And yeah, if you choose to train part-time, you will be getting the results of someone that trains part-time, which is not as much.
Yeah.
So, but my point and the conversation I had with this person when he was like, yeah. It's like, you have to be able to explain coherently, who is this programming for and how much can you do it? Mm-hmm. You could make a program where you only have to work out 2 days a week, but it's going to be several hours and you're going to need several days of rest and you're going to feel really beat up. That would be fine. But then you need to caution people that like, you can't come here 5 days a week. You'll get wrecked.
Yeah. It's the same as if you have a job and you have a full-time job, you make full-time income and you get benefits and whatever. If you have a part-time job, you don't get those same benefits. You don't get that same income. It's just, you get what you put in. So again, we can't build our business around the fraction of people out there that want specific things for their life. We just have to make it work as best as we can for the masses, and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That's just how it works.
Yeah. And this is not a program that's going to make you win the 100-meter dash in the Olympics.
No.
This is not a program that's intended to be done 2 days a week. This is not a program that you could do 9 times a week. It is one thing, and then therefore it's not other things, and that's like how it has to be. So overall, the daily blog post experiment, as far as I'm concerned, was very successful. It's way more work for me, but I'm willing to do more work to influence behavior in the right direction. And I said in the last episode, I feel like moving to the weekly blog post was just purely out of laziness on my part. And it was a mistake. So I'm willing to say that and own, the results of previous decisions made. Currently, we're on a 3-day rolling. So today's post, you can see today, tomorrow, and the next day. Yeah. Which seems to be like generally keeping everybody happy.
It's a good balance of allowing people that do need to kind of plan ahead, a little bit of time to plan ahead. But again,
plan ahead what?
Well, no, just like we have some couples and stuff that it's like they have to take turns on who's doing what days or whatever based on their kids and stuff. So I know that's an issue for some people, and we're trying to like help them out as much as we can without, again, encouraging just full on cherry picking and stuff. And,
And if you have to balance your schedule with your spouse, that has nothing to do with what the workout is, or it shouldn't.
Yeah.
To either prioritize going on a certain day or prioritize not going on a certain day because of what the workout is.
Oh yeah, it's still cherry picking.
That's the mindset I'm trying to get rid of. Just to be super clear. That's what we're trying to shake off and get rid of. It's just, you just show up.
Yeah.
And original old school CrossFit, where the roots of the whiteboard brief being a part of the workout was because people showed up to train and they didn't know what the workout was.
Yeah.
The coach would tell you when you got there. Just like anybody goes to hockey practice or volleyball practice, and it's like the coach didn't send you the practice plan ahead of time. You don't know what all the drills are and what you're going to be doing. You show up to do volleyball and you show up to do hockey and you show up to do CrossFit, but the need of the athlete to know the specifics of what was happening is just not how it's done. It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
And then the internet happened, and CrossFit leaned into the early days of those ugly old blog spot websites or whatever they were called, where you could do these like simple daily posts. And I think it's I was having some conversations with people about, there's several people in the gym that don't look at what the workout is. And that's cool in its own way. It's also problematic in its own way when you don't know what's going on and aren't aware of things you need to be aware of. But you and I were having this conversation in the kitchen of, should you know what the workout is ahead of time? Do you need to know what the workout is ahead of time? And
I think you should.
It's an interesting debate.
I think you should know what the workout is, because you do need to know like what you need to show up with, right? If we're doing skipping and you have a skipping rope, then you should show up with your skipping rope. Or if you need to wear your diaper because we're doing skipping, that's whatever, like we all have our issues. So
allow me to recommend Juliet. She's a great pelvic floor physio. Shout out.
Yeah. So I think you should at least know what you're in for. And then also what I like about having a couple of days ahead is at least knowing, okay, because we've talked about in previous podcasts, you can't go full send every day of the week, right? So let's say, and the way I do my programming is I try not to do 2 days back to back that are the same, right? Because the plan is that people will come for a few days in a row and then take a day off, and a few days in a row, and then take a day off. And so if you are looking and Monday we're doing heavy deadlifts or whatever, and then Wednesday we're doing power cleans, and then Tuesday we're doing some bunch of squats. And you want to be there for all 3 days, by seeing ahead a little bit, it does allow you to be like, okay, I'm going to hold off a little bit on the deadlifts because I need to work on my cleans. And that's the one I'm going to go hard on. I'm going to really try to work on going heavy on the cleans. That's great. That's not cherry picking where I'm not doing that one, I'm doing this one instead. It's more just like targeting where you need to focus to get better.
And that's a coherent argument.
Yeah.
And not a single person said that. If anybody had said that, I would have been like, fucking high five, like up top, work your weaknesses, plan ahead, plan appropriately, manage your volume. I would have been like, fuck yeah, but nobody said that.
And it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to actually do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're just avoiding workouts, that's cherry picking. But if you're being strategic to work on your weaknesses, then I fully support being able to see ahead a little bit.
Yeah. And like you said, everyone's an adult.
Yeah.
You're going to own your choices. And if you want to pay us money and only do the things you like and just not get very fit, like this, it's up to you. I'm not going to show up at your house and drag you to come on the day full of things you don't like. And then the other thing that I think is important that we say is you need to trust the coach and you need to embrace scaling and modifying.
Yeah.
That's super, super, super important. And I've heard from many people being like, oh, well, I look and I have a foot injury. And so if we're running that day, then I don't come that day. No, that's no. There's plenty of instances where you can look around the room and see people with injuries or issues or pregnant or whatever it is where they're scaling and modifying and they show up anyway. So I don't really care what the issue is. I'm here for you. The coaches are here for you. You have to trust that the coach will help you scale and modify appropriately. And you have to be willing to check your ego and do it and not be all bummed out about because you're rowing while everyone's running or something like that. So that's just what we do here. That's the culture of like, we just show up no matter what, and we make it work and we get a good, safe, effective workout.
And big shout out to Jimmy. He had reconstructive surgery on his pec. And once he got the clear, he just started showing up.
Yeah.
And has been consistently doing one arm stuff. And it's freaking hard. It's hard emotionally because you see a workout and you're like, man, I wish I could do that one, but I can't because my wing is broken. And you just have to do the modified version of it. But that is light years ahead of just sitting on a couch and waiting until you recover, because now you've lost all of your fitness and you're back down to 0 or -5 after your injury. So yeah, you have to just show up and do what you can, and good on Jimmy for doing it because he's killing it.
Hell yeah. I mean, we don't have a Member of the Month award, but I think I should create one. It's just like the avatar of this is the real life expression of what we talk about in theory all the time. And he and I had a great conversation after the class the other day where he's like, this is good for my mental health. It's like, comes after work. It's this nice buffer between work and home. He sees his buddies. So there's some social interaction. And, he can still use his legs and he can still do GHD sit-ups and all these things are like versus doing nothing for 3 months. And now not only is your shoulder deteriorated, but so are your legs and so is your core and so is everything else. You're like, just logically on paper, that's obviously the worst decision.
Yeah.
But it requires the mental fortitude to show up and do workouts when you don't like it. And it sucks. And that's exactly what we were talking about last time was like, just because we've happened to package fitness in such a fun, likable way doesn't mean that you only do it when it's fun and likable. You have to stay in it when it isn't fun and it's not very likable.
Yeah.
And don't you think the amount of fitness you have over the course of your lifetime you make it or break it in those moments?
Oh, for sure.
It's easy to be fit when everything's going well and your schedule is fine and your body feels good. But if you have a slight bump in the road for a few months, how you handle those moments of adversity is really what changes the trajectory of like meh to whoop.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's forged in the bad times, not forged in the good times.
Yeah.
One thing that came out of that conversation we were having about should you look or not look at the workouts, I say to new people when they come out of foundations, you have to read before you come here. Like you have to have seen the words. I was like, I don't need you to know what everything means or understand it exactly, but it will help with the learning if you've at least seen the words before you got here. Of course, the coach will take you through everything. But then with more and more and more experienced athletes, I actually think the longer you've been doing CrossFit that you shouldn't look at what the workout is. You're fine, but you're going to talk yourself out of things. Like we kind of joked, the longer you do CrossFit, the longer the list of workouts where you're like, well, I'm never fucking doing that again gets. Like you're like Karen, like never fucking doing that again. Like
your trauma starts taking over your decisions.
So if anything, the longer you've been doing CrossFit, the more you should challenge yourself to just show up. And one of my favorite questions of the day is, especially when we have visitors, when was the last time you dropped into a different CrossFit gym? And very many people that have been with us for a long time are like, I've never been anywhere other than BRIO. I'm about to go drop into a CrossFit gym in Whitehorse tomorrow, and I don't know what the workout is. And so if I'm so mentally fragile that I have to know what the workout is before I go, guess what? I wouldn't work out tomorrow.
Yeah. And
so is that better versus me being anti-fragile and having the mental fortitude to be like, whatever it is, I'll be fine. And if it's not fine, I'll scale it. It's fine. I'm going to go get a good workout no matter what. I'm going to go meet some nice people and make some friends and get a workout in tomorrow morning in a different affiliate, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
Or maybe not great. I don't know. I'll assume it's going to be great.
I think that's just it. Being able to say, whatever it is, I'll be fine. And if it's not, I'll scale it. Right. Like that's the mentality right there.
Yeah.
You know, because we've never said no to a scaling, like that's just not how we operate. Right. Of course we want you to come in and get a workout and do what you can and make the best of your situation. Like just, it'll be fine. Sometimes
I make you scale it in a different way than you wanted to scale it.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's a different topic for a different day.
So that's tackling our veterans, people that have been with us for a while. But something else that we were going to discuss is more about relatively new people. We've had a number of new people start with us. And one of the things they say is, I don't want to hurt myself. It's like, well, yeah, I don't want to hurt you either. Let's just agree that we're both on that same page. But I think in saying that, we've talked about this a lot. And what it seems to be is they're saying right out of the hop, I'm not going to try hard. That seems to be more what they're actually trying to say. You know, I'm going to take it super light. I'm going to take it super slow. I'm going to take it super easy. And I just don't want, I'm going to do that to not hurt myself. And that's just such a interesting way to start doing an exercise program, that the whole thing is based around intensity equals results, you know? Yeah. So there's a lot there that we're going to go through, but we all come from a place of, yes, nobody wants to get hurt.
Yeah.
There's not a single CrossFit gym in the world, hopefully, there's like, I'm going to fuck up my people real bad. I'm going to wreck some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
People are inadvertently doing programming like that, but I won't say it's explicitly doing programming like that.
So let's all agree. Yes. Nobody wants to get hurt.
Yeah.
Nobody comes to a gym wanting to get hurt, and nobody is running a gym that wants to hurt people. But the main thing is, if you are not heavy lifting and you don't have any intensity, you're not going to have any results. So we need to get over the obstacle of thinking intensity and heavy lifting equals injury. We need to change it to be like intensity and heavy lifting equals opportunity to get better. How do we mitigate that to be as safe as we can?
Yeah. And I thought, so several new people felt the need to be like, well, I don't want to hurt myself. Like, yeah, I know. And it struck me as such an odd thing to need to comment.
Yeah.
And at first it's easy to be like, back up against the wall or whatever, react negatively to it. Instead, I have to think, listen, you have to listen to people. Like Chuck Carswell, the man, always says, ask one more question, ask one more question, ask one more question. And so you're like, okay, well, obviously, duh. Like, do you think that people here are trying to hurt themselves? Like, I think that should just be a given. Nobody here is trying to hurt themselves. That would be absurd.
Yeah.
But why does someone feel the need to say that? And thinking on it, and I think what it is they're like, I don't want to hurt myself. Cool. Agreed. That's what we all want. And therefore I'm planning to essentially avoid effort. I'm not going to lift heavy and I'm not going to go fast and whatever. And in the beginning, we emphasize day one foundations, CrossFit's charter for safety, mechanics, consistency, then intensity. I don't want you to lift really heavy and go really fast before you have good mechanics and you do this consistently. Like just not even, we literally are talking you down from doing that. Too much intensity, too fast.
Yeah.
So people have this idea, we're all on the same page about the goal. We don't want to hurt ourselves. Agreed. But it's like this decision-making tree. So then how are we going to accomplish that? And people that aren't trainers, aren't coaches, don't know, that need an adult, need to hire some professionals, think that they prevent injury by avoiding effort. And you don't prevent injury, you prevent fitness. You keep the same injury risk, but now you're just not getting any results. And so we're like, oh, there's an opportunity there for me to be a better coach, to be a better educator, to go, yeah, cool, I agree, you don't want to hurt yourself. Here's how you actually do that without avoiding fitness.
Yeah.
Because what a waste of time and money for you to come to this place and just not get fit.
Yeah.
You're like, that sucks.
Yeah. You have to try hard for it to work, right? You just have to. That's the only way it's going to work. If you just casually stroll through your fitness regime, it's not going to work no matter what.
Show me a fitness program that lacks intensity. I'll show you a fitness program that lacks results. It just won't get you anywhere.
Yeah. So it's not just the effort that's increasing risk of injury. There's a whole slew of other things. The first one is going to be your sleep schedule. You recover when you sleep, and exercise itself is catabolic. You're breaking your body down. It's recovering from the exercise that makes you stronger, fitter, better. So the main place you do that is when you sleep. So if you are saying, I'm not going to get hurt, but then you're staying up till 1 a.m. watching Netflix, and then you're getting up to get your kids off to school at 6 a.m. and whatever, it's like you're not contradicting yourself because you're not giving yourself enough time to recover. Yeah.
If you're saying, I don't want to get hurt, but I sleep 6 hours a night and I wake up to an alarm every day, it sounds like you do want to get hurt because that's how you get hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
So there's certainly times where people are normally good sleepers and they have one night, like you woke up at 3 a.m. the other day and just couldn't fall back asleep. It happens to me all the time, not all the time, from time to time. So I always tell people, it's not that you can't train on those days. If that's one of the only days you can make it in, that's fine, still show up. But that's not the day that you're going to go for a PR or you're going to go full send, 100% intensity. You're going to like back things off. You're maybe going to do a little bit more skill work. You're maybe going to just work on your technique a bit more, keep the intensity more close to 5 out of 10 instead of 8 out of 10, just because you know you didn't have a very good sleep.
Yeah. And those kinds of smart, making good choices, scaling options, I fully embrace that. But if you come in and you say that every single time you come in to train, that's a no.
Yeah.
Like now we need to be having a bigger picture conversation about it wasn't one bad night of sleep. It's a habit. It's a lifestyle. It's a choice at that point. And then we need to be having a different conversation about, you can't come in here dragging ass like a bag of shit for every day for 3 straight months and expect we're just going to be like, yeah, cool, just scale it today, just scale it today, just scale it today.
And that's probably like a good theme of all of the things we are going to discuss is if it happens once in a while, it's not a big deal. But if it's a chronic thing, then we need to address the chronic thing, right? So yeah, sleeping well consistently is 100% one of the best ways to avoid injury.
Yeah. How you avoid injury is less about the choices you make in the gym. Certainly there's some that's important.
Of course.
But it's majority about the choices you make outside the gym.
Yeah.
If there's one big way to sum this all up. So sleep is a huge one. Alcohol, basically like things that increase inflammation and damage tissue. So alcohol, sugar, seed oils, ultra-processed foods. If you choose to include those things in your life on a regular basis, you are voting to get injured. You're voting to damage your tendons, your ligaments, your cartilage in your knees, your coordination because your brain's not functioning as well. If you're undersleeping, drinking often, eating shitty food, that's how you get injured, or that's how you increase your risk of injury.
And even not even just the bad stuff that you're putting in, the good stuff that you're not putting in is important as well. If you're not eating enough protein, right, you just don't have the structure to build up those muscles and get stronger and repair tissues. You need animal protein for good recovery. That's just part of it. So people that don't eat meat, that's fine. You're an adult. You can make that decision, but you are at a much higher risk of injuring yourself than people that are not. You need collagen to keep those rubbery tendons.
Yeah, and bone density. 70% of vegans and vegetarians have low bone density. So then, you're much more likely to just break a little bone doing a box jump or doing something otherwise benign and safe, but you set yourself up to be weak in the face of that, to be fragile in the face of that.
Yeah. Another thing that a lot of people really struggle with is their lack of emphasis on addressing their mobility issues.
Technique in general as like a, bucket where it's, oh, well, I can't be in a good position. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, my lats are too tight. Sounds like you know what to work on.
Yeah. And again, it's just, okay, you show up and you've got tight hamstrings and you can't get into a good deadlift position. Okay, that's your starting point. What are we going to do to make it so that you're progressing away from that starting point. You don't just keep lifting heavier and getting stronger. You also need to address why your hamstrings are so tight, right? Mm-hmm. So when somebody spends their whole day sitting in a chair at their office, and then they go home and they spend the whole night sitting on a couch watching TV, and then they walk around with their shoulders hunched forward and a rounded back, and they complain about their shoulder and their back issues. It's like, well, yeah, it's not the gym that's causing that. It's your awful posture due to your lifestyle that's causing that.
It's not the 4 hours you spent doing fitness. It's the 40 to 80 hours you spent being in a shitty position.
Yeah. And I know mobility isn't fun to work on, but same with thrusters. Thrusters are not fun to work on for me. Some people love stretching.
I love thrusters.
Some people love thrusters. Some people love stretching. But again, it's just one of those things that you have to work on. And I don't just mean, oh, I have issues with my shoulders, so I'm going to stretch out my hamstrings. It's no, you need to do like focused, guided mobility that's actually going to make a difference. Mm-hmm. That's what K-Star has been really on about, is you can't just say I stretch and be good to go. Like if you're not doing like specific drills consistently to improve your mobility, you're wasting your time.
Mm-hmm. Kelly Starrett's content is great. Zach Long's content is great. He's also very much on you need to work on your issues. Like when you come into the gym, we'll take you through great general warm-ups and lots of mobility and lots of full range of motion stuff. But if you specifically have terrible ankles or tight shoulders or bad posture, that's still on you to own those things. This is very much a partnership between us as the adults in the room and you as also an adult. It's very much you can't do this as well without us, and we can't do this as well if you're not bought in to what has to happen. It's very much a partnership kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Form in general is a huge thing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you need to work on your mobility to improve your form. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just need to make good choices. If we're doing power cleans and you do 195 and those elbows are high and those hips are low and everything looks great, and then you put 195 in and your feet spread out and your elbows drop down and you take it all on the wrists, and then on the next set you go to put 205 on that bar, you are making a choice that is down the path leading towards injury. Yeah. You have to know when you've reached that point where, okay, I just officially moved like garbage. Now I need to pull back the reins, put my ego aside. Sure, yes, maybe I could lift 205. Doesn't matter because today 195 sucked. So I need to improve that mechanic.
And so intensity, we're talking about intensity drives results. You have to have intensity in a fitness program or you will get no fitness. Intensity is either faster or heavier or more reps, more distance of things, more volume, or some combo of those three. Those three variables feed into the formula for power. We're always maximizing power. It's how we measure the work output of what we're doing. And so you have to earn your way into more weight. So if you do a not ideal rep, some kind of hot mess rep, you don't add weight, you stay at that weight and you make it better.
Yeah.
I had an interesting conversation the other day too. You're sparking all these things that have been floating around in my head of like, okay, so if it wasn't great or you're in a workout and whatever, the first thing that we do isn't just take weight off the bar. Mm-hmm. That's actually not the first option available to us. The first option is do it better. Do the same thing, but better.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to do these movements at high load and high speed. And that if you're like, I have muscle ups, but not if I'm tired, or not if they're in combo with GHD sit-ups, or not if I did a lot of push-ups the day before. So, well, then you don't really have muscle ups. Then you have very fragile, tenuous, maybe kind of can sort of do a rep. Like good, strong, durable fitness survives fatigue. It survives load. It survives volume. Mm-hmm. That's when you have those things. You can, like any deadlift I'm ever going to do, it's going to be with a flat back. From my backpack off the floor to my 1 rep max. Like I have good technique and it survives everything. Doesn't matter how out of breath I am in a workout. That's what we need. And so just because it wasn't perfect, which is fine, we're all learning and whatever, but the first option isn't automatically give up, abandon ship, go slower, go lighter. And it requires some mental engagement in what you're doing, for you to actually make it better.
It's interesting to watch like a high level Olympic weightlifting athlete who their reps are super consistent, right? And they're lifting such ridiculously heavy weights that they have to be consistent because that's how they've built their body to be the strongest possible way. And when you see an elite level lifter miss a lift, it's often hard to see what went wrong, because it's not like they went spread eagle and they're back rounded and their elbows dropped down. It's not these egregious misses. It was just the bar was that far in front And that was enough to make it that, nope, can't lift 500 pounds if it's that far in front. Everything else looked fine. It was just a little too forward. So maybe they didn't open their hips enough or whatever. At our level, it tends to be catastrophic changes in our technique. So we need to make sure that we're training at an intensity that allows us to challenge ourselves and get better, but still work within our own abilities as far as our movement is concerned. And we all know what that number is. We can tell, like you can see it, you can feel it when you do that one and your back rounds so crazy while you stand up that deadlift. Like we all know what it feels like.
And the term for that in the textbook CrossFit stuff is called threshold training. It's a balance of technique and intensity. We want A- technique and A+ intensity. I'm not saying move like garbage, but you can have a little speed wobble here and there. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
As it is in life, it's like you can type and you can have one typo. It's not the end of the world. You can just go back and fix it. You can't just mash the keyboard and type gibberish, which is like some people's technique. And over time, your goal is to be more and more and more accurate at higher and higher speeds. This is like anything, playing music, typing, driving, shooting, whatever are the things that require that balance of technique and intensity. And if you train with too much intensity and not enough technique, you're more likely to get injured. And if you train with great technique but not enough intensity, you don't get any fitness. And if you train with mediocre technique and no intensity, that's how you're still at risk of getting injured. And also you have no fitness now. Yeah. So there's this Goldilocks zone in the middle that you have to stay in. And so we'll see people, and we were talking about from the perspective of new members that felt the need to say, I don't want to hurt myself. Like, yes, obviously. But also many of our experienced members too are like, they're always overscaling. And if you're always overscaling and the first one done, or you're always overscaling and it's an AMRAP and everyone else gets 5 rounds and you get 8, that's a different program.
Yeah.
That's a high volume program. And high volume programs are not what we do because they increase the risk of getting all banged up. And so this is where people have the right idea of I don't want to hurt myself, but the wrong execution. Therefore, I'm going to go light and do more reps. Nope, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
If your technique is good and the coach is like, hey, you should use 80 today instead of 65. And you're like, no, I'm going to go light because of whatever. And then you do twice as much volume as was intended. That's not smart.
Yeah.
So people, that feel like that's avoiding effort and doing too much volume.
Yeah. I think the excess volume is as risky, sometimes more risky than going heavy. So when the goal is to go heavy and a little bit slower and maybe get 3 rounds done, and you go light and fast and get 6 rounds done, now you've done way more volume. And so if the next day we're doing a higher volume, lighter weight day, and you do the same thing, it's like now it's just compounding volume on volume on volume. And then you might as well be doing one of those programs that's like 3 workouts a day because you're just all volume. You've got no stimulus for your muscles to get stronger, just beat up.
Yeah. So if your goal is, I don't want to hurt myself, which is all of our goal, then what you do to accomplish that goal is you prioritize your sleep, you avoid alcohol, you eat real food, you work on your mobility, you're mentally engaged in improving your technique every time you're training. That's how you avoid injury and get fitness. But if you're like, I don't want to hurt myself, and you don't change any of those lifestyle factors, you continue to drink, you don't sleep enough, you eat like garbage, you sit in a chair all day, and you avoid effort at the gym, well, guess what? You have the same risk of injury, probably more actually, because you're not addressing any of the things that matter. So now you have the same or maybe worse risk of injury and less fitness.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, let's just be clear. This is how I feel about adults. Just own your choices and own the implications of those choices. If you're like, I'm not very fit because I choose not to try hard. Okay. Yeah. You do you, man. Like, it's a free country.
I come here for fun, and that's it. Okay, cool.
My hamstring hurts because I drink too much and I sit in a chair all day and I don't stretch. You do you, man. Live your life. Okay. But, what nobody ever says is I hurt myself because I move like crap. I set an alarm every day and I love beer. What they say is I hurt myself at CrossFit.
Yeah. I know.
And then also there's like acceptable levels of risk.
Sure.
Some people are like, I do not want to hurt myself. You're like, okay, well, nothing is risk-free. What is an acceptable level of risk you're willing to take in order to avoid chronic disease, in order to avoid being unfit, to avoid the sickness side of the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum? Okay, well, you got in your car and you drove here, which is actually quite a dangerous thing to do. Are you okay with that level of risk? Yeah, sure. It's because you could be catastrophically injured or even killed in your car. It happens every day in our city that people are in car crashes and seriously injured and maybe even killed. So you were willing to accept that level of risk to get here to do this. So I can pretty much guarantee that anything we're going to do, you're not going to die.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. It's not like a car crash. It's, I've never in all of CrossFit land seen anything that catastrophic, So, okay, that's an acceptable level of risk. And then there's some gradient of super safe to risky, and there's things we're willing to do and things we're not willing to do, which is perfectly fine. Each person's going to be at some point on that sliding scale, but we just need to stay rational about it.
I think that there are certain circumstances where people have a profession that requires some level of physical, being. And so let's say you're a chiropractor, you do massage or something like that. You have to be able to use your hands. You have to be able to use your arms. Of course, you're not going to do the things that would potentially stop you from being able to work, right? Or you're a construction worker and your back, you just need to be able to lift heavy things. Okay, for sure, we can be a little bit more cautious around things like heavy cleans. If you're unable to get your elbows into a good position and you're taking all that weight into your wrists and you're increasing risk of injury of your wrists, it's going to take time to get that mobility up, right? So maybe we just don't go heavy on the cleans, but that doesn't mean you don't go heavy on the deadlifts as well. You can push the deadlifts because those are totally fine. They're not going to wreck your hands. Like, you can still get stronger in different ways. So of course, make good choices. Do it in a way that allows you to do what you need to do in the real world. But it's not like I'm worried about my wrists, and so I'm not going to do anything with intensity, right? It's not a blanket statement of just, well, I can't try hard because of this. It's, we're going to be cautious in that area, but we're going to push it in other ways. Same thing where we say you have to earn your intensity. There are certain movements that just take time to get good at. And so it's going to take a long time to earn intensity on things like the clean and jerk and the snatch. But that doesn't mean that burpees have a ton of technique that you need to worry about. You can still try fucking hard as hell on burpees on day one, So you just pick and choose the movements that you apply intensity to. And overall, you're building up your fitness while still getting better at the movements that are super technical and difficult. And eventually you'll get to the point where you're just like, hey, I'm ready to kill it at everything.
Yeah. And okay, so when you said people where certain aspects of their physical capability makes or breaks their job, that's me.
Yeah, totally.
My entire job hinges on me being physically capable. Like coaching CrossFit classes at BRIO and all the things I do, traveling and teaching seminars with CrossFit. If I blew my Achilles, that would be catastrophic to my lifestyle, including the fun and recreational things I like to do, like snowboarding. If but I don't avoid box jumps and running and dropping off a pull-up bar and all those things, even though the risk of if I was to hurt myself in that way would be horrendous. I would recover and be fine, but it would be very limiting to my lifestyle and income for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But because I know I need to be healthy, I sleep enough. I don't drink very much. I eat super well. I take care of myself. And even just me being sick is a major limiter. If I lose my voice, which has happened to me several times, it's like a lot. So that doesn't mean, I don't talk unless I'm at work.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not going to work. It just means I take care of myself. I'm careful how much I use my volume and blah, 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 yada, yada.
You do what you can to minimize the risk everywhere, right? Like
intelligently, purposefully.
Yeah. And then when those things happen, you figure out, okay, like what do I need to do now to make the best? Because when you do lose your voice, you can't coach for a day or two as it's coming back. And we just try to make that happen. But you just can't go through life being so fearful that you just don't do anything. Like you have to live. You have to get out there and do fun things and challenge yourself. And, we've said so many times, it's like we try hard now so that we get a long, healthy life, right? I would rather have 90 years of feeling good than just be super cautious and not do anything and only live to be 60 or be so decrepit by the time I'm 60 that I only got 60 years of playing it safe, And I've wrecked myself doing stupid shit many times in my life, but that's all just part of the plan. I'm taking risks. I go snowboarding and I still do jumps and rails like an idiot. And I'm 47 years old and, but it's like, I want to live my life. I want to do those fun things. And you have to you can't live in fear. You have to do challenging things.
Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are for.
There you go. Don't be a ship in the harbor.
Yeah.
Go find some dolphins or something. What do ships do?
They sail around and they take risks.
Go transport people from island to island.
You get out of the harbor and you go do things, but you run the risk of hitting a storm or running up on the reef or, crashing or sinking or whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah, you could keep your boat pristine and just rotting and declining in the harbor where it's not immediately a disaster. Mm-hmm. It's a slow decline. Or you take that thing out there and you do what it's intended to do. And I think from a bigger, broader philosophical programming perspective, like what we do is fitness so that you can do life.
Yeah.
And that's not a given. There's CrossFit gyms that prioritize fitness for you to compete in fitness for the sake of doing fitness. Why do we train? We train to get better in the gym. And we're not that. We're fitness for real life, for you to fucking get out there and crush it at anything and everything that you want to do. Not like a minimum level of, I can walk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, you're like, I can snowboard and hit the train park. And when I'm 47 years old with my kids and you're in there going off jumps and grinding rails.
Yeah.
We're like 11 out of 10 life people, not like 3 out of 10 life people. And that filters down into all kinds of stuff. Like we were talking the other day about the no belt thing. Why I don't train with a belt anymore, because I train for life. And when I'm out there in life, I'm not going to have a belt on. Mm-hmm. When I have to lift up a paddleboard and put it on the roof of my car, when I carry my suitcase in the airport, when I lift up my kids and run with them, like any heavy lifting, when we're going to carry patio stones into our backyard this summer, hauling logs out of the bush at Jan Lake with Ryan and Jasmine, I'm not wearing a belt for any of that stuff. Like when I'm sitting in the garden and pulling weeds, I'm not wearing lifting shoes. So it's like, why would I train with those things then?
Yeah.
If I'm not going to have those things, I've set myself up to be fragile in the face of life if I train with all those Band-Aids and duct tape in the gym.
Yeah.
Not to say you can't use those things. Yeah, if I do a 1 rep max back squat, I'll throw a belt on. How often do I do a 1 rep max back squat?
Not every week.
2 or 3 times a year?
Yeah.
And here's how I keep myself smartly applying my intensity as a 42-year-old is if I'm testing, I'm not training. And if I'm training, I'm not testing. Those are 2 different things. And so most of the time I'm training, and therefore I'm training for life, and therefore I train barefoot and no belt and as clean and raw, I'm in the raw CrossFit division, as I possibly can. And if I'm testing, then yeah, I might throw a belt on once in a while. I know how to use it when I want to, but it's not my everyday default. And same thing with alcohol. I don't drink alcohol every day. I don't drink alcohol every week. And I know the implications when I do. And once in a while, it's not the end of the world. But I'm aware of what it's doing or why it's there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You can't just go through life with a belt on.
Mm-hmm. Would that be funny?
I mean, you can wear like fashion belts, I suppose. But if you were just walking around the streets in a weightlifting belt, people would be wondering what was up with you.
Okay, this was all the way back at old BRIO because I have a vivid memory of this. And I had one of those black leather Everlast belts. Like you used to be able to, probably can still get them at Sport Check.
Yeah.
Black leather, and it has a silver buckle on it.
Yeah.
And it's wider in the back, but it looks more like a belt in the front. I had it on around my waist. And somebody came in the gym and they're like, oh my God, I really like your belt. And I was like, wait, what? No, you don't think I'm wearing this like for fashion? But it was like a quick drive-by sort of compliment that left me being like, wait, no.
That's funny.
I'm wearing this for training, not for like fashion.
Big weightlifting cowboy belt buckle.
It was like a flashback. I just had to like, I don't wear this all the time. This isn't like my outfit today.
That's funny.
It was funny. Yeah. So, I mean, here's what we're for. We're here to help you do the things you wouldn't do on your own.
Yeah.
That's why you pay us the not big bucks. Guess what we sell? We sell effort.
We sell effort.
This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is get rich the most painful, slow possible way you could ever.
Yeah.
But yes, you hire us to help you do the things you wouldn't do on your own.
And it's driven by community. So we're all doing it together.
Yeah.
And just be part of it.
And so there's so many aspects that go into it. What is the programming? How do you learn about the programming? What does the coach do? What do your community members do? And we're all in this thing together, which is why we seriously refer to it as Team BRIO all the time. This is a team. We train as a team. Even though it's an individual effort, it's still, you are better because you're part of this team, the team of coaches, the team of your community, of your comrades that you train with day in and day out. And like each person has a role and a way that they contribute and a way that we match each other's effort. And that's what that's all about. So we're training for life. Yes, 100% of people here, our goal is we don't want to get hurt. The risk is not zero, but the risk is not zero for anything. One of our very dearest friends ruptured her Achilles putting eggs in the cart at Costco one time. Mm-hmm. It's like life is not risk-free. We do everything we can. We do everything we can on our end to mitigate the risk, but you have a lot of things that you have to do on your end to also mitigate the risk. And it's not avoiding effort.
Yeah.
That's avoiding fitness. You have to go to bed early enough that you don't need an alarm. You have to eat real food. You have to avoid alcohol. You have to stretch, work on your technique. Like, those are the things that you need to match the things that we do in our realm in order to reduce the risk as much as possible, to make getting really fucking fit as safe as possible.
Yep. Make good choices out there, everybody.
So that you can squeeze the juice out of life.
Squeeze the juice.
Squeeze the juice. Get every bit of fun and adventure, enjoyment and health span that you can out of this whole thing we call life.
Don't stay in the harbor.
Yeah. Ships are not. That's not what ships are for.
That's right. All right. Thanks, guys.
See you in the next one.